I'm Kay Spivey. It has been a little bit. I had meant to do Preptober videos throughout the month of October, but obviously October really was an awful month for me. So I'm going to be uploading this now instead, and hopefully it'll still be helpful to you if you are doing NaNoWriMo this year. So far it's going good for me as of the filming of this video. I am also going to be putting out pep talks every Saturday on my blog, which I will link down below for you. I always thought the pep talks helped me a lot with NaNoWriMo, and I feel like year after year they do less of them or just not as good. So I went ahead and did pep talks that were my advice to me that I would want to get for NaNoWriMo, and I'll have those going up every Saturday to help encourage you if you need it and help encourage me because I know I'm gonna need it as the month goes by. Today what I wanted to talk about is wrist health. I went to hand therapy this summer. I only ended up going 5 visits. I was supposed to do more, but obviously things were coming up, so I ended up canceling my last couple of appointments. But I learned a lot of things and it was very, very helpful. So I want to go ahead and share the knowledge that I learned with you so that hopefully you can avoid getting into a situation as bad as mine. So I've talked about it in a previous video at kind of more length, but I have had wrist and hand pain for most of my life now. We finally had good enough insurance and I finally had had enough of the pain, so I went to see a doctor this summer. And we did a couple of tests to rule out things like arthritis or osteoporosis or things like that. We did some blood tests and we did some x-rays, and luckily they all came back fine. So I don't have any of those kind of degenerative conditions that might need some kind of like a different treatment. So the doctor sent me to hand therapy. The hand therapist did a bunch of tests, mostly to like try and figure out where my limit was. So like the first appointment was really painful. It was awful. But basically, what he figured out from that is that my posture is terrible, which is something I kind of knew, but it's also one of those things that like you let slide a lot, and actually in the last month I've been letting it slide again. So my posture was getting really good throughout July and September, and recently I've been kind of not doing it so well. I'm doing a lot of sitting on the couch playing Fire Emblem these days. Fire Emblem Three Houses has been my thing. I love it so much. I'm on my second playthrough. I played Golden Deer first. Now I'm gonna go launch into a thing. I played Golden Deer first and now I'm playing Black Eagles, and it is very different. Very different. But I'm loving it. So we can rant about that in the comments if you're also playing Fire Emblem, because, you know, full spoiler and whatever, because I already finished it one time. But that aside, on to hand therapy. So one of the things he noticed was that my shoulders are rolled way too far forward, almost to the point where I almost have like a hunchback from the way that I was just naturally standing. My shoulders were slouched down and forward way too far. So the main thing he said was that there are a lot of pinch points. So if you're standing like fully like correctly, which would be totally up with a curve in your spine in the back here, shoulders back, there are all of the like tracks for all of your nerves and all of your blood vessels are open. But if you start to pinch them off, you pinch them off in too many places, you're just causing yourself pain. So most of what I was learning was how to open up all of the channels as often as possible in order to not be causing those pinch points and causing pain further down the line, so that I could use my hands like a normal person and not feel the pain. One of the main things is that I have to wear wrist braces every night. He actually made me some custom wrist braces, so I have ones that fit directly on my hand, but basically he said if they're working, they're working. So if you are looking for some wrist braces, you do want ones that, let me put them on first. You do want ones that go down your wrist some and have some actual wrist support through here. You can see these are definitely like handmade ones, and you want them to be in this kind of neutral position. So he crafted these for me, but you can buy ones at the store. I'd been using ones from the store for a long time and they were working really good, but now I have some that are fitted to my wrist. Anyway, the reason that you want to have wrist braces on is because when you're sleeping, your wrists are gonna bend in weird positions. You're trying to keep the carpal tunnel, which is like through here, is the carpal tunnel. You want to keep that completely open while you're sleeping, because if you're pinching it off all night, you're just causing problems for the morning. So when I'm waking up with sore wrists already, I'm already having a bad day to begin with. So we're trying to negate that problem completely and keep this tunnel where like everything goes through. It's the carpal tunnel is where like all the tendons and shit are going through. So you keep that as open as possible by wearing wrist braces. And you'd think, yeah, like, okay, I can sleep with my hands like straight, like no problem. But I'm the type who will like hang my, like put my pillow like between my arms and hang one wrist off, and then that's the wrist that's gonna hurt. So I'd never thought about that before. I was like, keep them straight. But no, like half the time my wrist is hanging off this way or like some other way. But when you wear the brace, it doesn't have the possibility of doing that. So wearing the braces at night has made a huge difference in just keeping that channel open. The other thing is trying to open up this channel, which is very, very tight. And part of it is me being conscious and sitting up straight and throwing my shoulders back, because to me this feels like a huge stretch. But if I'm just looking at myself, this is just me sitting up normally. Like this is just how a person should sit. But I was always sitting like this. So you can see how much of a difference, and actually I'll kind of show you here too. If I was staying like this and then I was staying like this, I look a lot better. I was noticing that as well, that the more I sit up completely straight, like correctly, I have a lot more lung capacity too. Like I don't know how many issues I was causing myself by slouching that much, but I also look a lot better. I look a lot thinner and a lot taller, and you know, like models carry themselves a certain way, they're standing up straight. But I wasn't, and it was always like, oh, it's just like, you know, you're just getting kind of chubby, you're just getting kind of old, all these things. Like the first time I completely did it, I was like, oh, I'm not standing up straight, duh. It's kind of a stupid thing, but I had to have like a professional hand therapist point it out to me. So here we are. Anyway, so sitting up straight, part of it is just me being conscious about it. And some of it is doing exercises. He had me do one, and I'm supposed to do it like 5 times and then 6 times a day, where I shrug up and then back and then down. So up, back, down. And all you're trying to do is kind of get the muscles back between your shoulder blades to strengthen. There are a couple other ones. There's one where you kind of stand like arms at the side first, and you squeeze your shoulder blades together and you hold it for 10 seconds. And then he had me doing it at this angle with my arms up, which is a lot like the corner stretch, which is the one that I usually do, where you just like walk into a corner like this, and then up like this, and then one where one is down and one is up, and every time you're just trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together and hold it, and you should feel a bit of a stretch through this area. So those are the main stretches to try and like strengthen my back and remind it that it is supposed to be like this. My head is supposed to be up. The other thing was changing my desk situation. So I have been doing a lot of sitting on the floor with my desk kind of low down, using my laptop. And it's just not conducive to long-term writing. Like I have known for a while that I needed to set up my desk in a way that was going to be good for long-term writing, because I want to be a writer, you know? Like I'm a writer, I need to have a writing desk. So there are a lot of options, and you can go with a lot of different price points. I decided to go the cheap way, and I MacGyvered my desk. Now, if you don't know who MacGyver is, because your mother was not obsessed with sci-fi the way mine was, then MacGyver was famous. His famous thing, he was kind of an action star. His famous thing was that he would have whatever was just there. You know, like, we've got a rubber band, we've got some chewing gum, we've got a toothpick, and he would get them out of whatever situation they were in with just what was around. So that's why when people say MacGyvering, it's taking what is available and making it work for your situation. That's all that means. So let me show you what I did with my desk to take what I already had and turn it into something that would be a lot more ergonomical and suit me a lot better. So here, I'm gonna turn us around. Ready, set, let's go. I'm gonna start off by showing you one of the things I did buy was a lumbar support, and I will talk more about why that is important here in a second. but that was one of the things that I did purchase special. Here is what I did. So this was just an IKEA desk, and I've had this desk for forever. This was a drawer. So what I did was I took the front off of the drawer and I put the front down here. I just screwed it into the bottom for some support. So now, instead of it being a drawer, it's a keyboard desk. Now I did end up buying this keyboard because I had an ergonomical keyboard. Let me get up here, I'll get in the frame. I already owned this style of ergonomical keyboard, you know, where it's split and there's the curve like this. And the hand therapist told me this is not actually helpful. This is not a good type of ergonomical keyboard. And this is one of those situations where, like, I wouldn't have known that, but an expert telling me that that is not the best possible thing I could do for my wrists was very helpful. So other things that I did here, I'm gonna have to kind of maneuver this around a little bit, I think, to show you everything. But so I have this, and it's dropped down as well, because one of the things is the higher up you're raising your arms, the more you're kind of pinching things off, and you don't want to bend your arms a whole lot either. You want them to be a little bit flat, and he said that the ultimate place to actually have your keyboard would be completely in your lap. Like, that is the most comfortable place you can have it, is where your lap is. And it's important when you have it in your lap, when you have it low, you want to be sitting so that your legs are almost at a 90-degree angle. You want your feet flat on the floor so you feel very stable, so you never feel like you're falling off. I'm gonna have to lower this down again so you can kind of see with this lumbar support. So this is even a little bit high right now just because I'm really short. But so my feet are flat on the ground here, and I want my butt all the way back in the chair. And he was showing me different things, partially like, okay, so sit like this, okay, not good. But he showed me one of the things is with the lumbar support, if I scoot all the way back and I put the lumbar in, if I sit up straight, because of the way it pushes this, you're automatically sitting with your shoulders more back. It just pushes them into their natural position. Like, you're supposed to have this curve. So if you have something there supporting it, the rest of you sits how it's supposed to be. Like, I did not know that's why you use a lumbar support. Nobody ever told me that. Like, did you ever actually get taught that that's the reason for a lumbar support, is to make the rest of your spine sit the way it's supposed to? I had no idea, but apparently that's why you use it. So if I sit with my butt all the way back, adjust my lumbar so it's comfy, and I just remember to keep my shoulders back, my spine is in the correct position just from my seating apparatus. That's really cool. So then the other thing is, so having the keyboard down low, I got just a little simple one. He said basically flat keyboard is best. The flatter the better. And I got one that's going to be really light and easy. Usually I like having the number thing on the side, but for just typing, I just want it to be as small as possible and comfortable. So I got just a tiny cheap keyboard. I already had my MSI mouse, and I just strung everything up so that it came down and was down here instead of being up here, so it was closer to my lap. And then I had a nice little cubby hole for my tea. This I also already had. You could build a shelf or something, but this was my like lap desk. I probably showed it in some other videos. The like washout lighting is gonna make me look super pale. Oh, there we go. Here we go. What does it say right here? This I already had as like for in bed for putting my laptop on, and I've used it for that in the past, but that's not ideal either. So I just stuck it up here, and look at this. Now my computer is nearly at eye level. It probably could be a little bit higher to be like truly ergonomically correct, because you want to be looking straight or slightly up. You never want to be looking down, because again, it's all in the spinal stuff. If you're getting your neck down, next thing's this and this and this and this. So I had been sitting, you know, like this, leaned down. So now I'm forced to sit more up and look up, and it's easier to remember to keep the shoulders back when I'm doing that. So honestly, I can type and work for a lot longer now without pain because of the situation I have set up. So basically, what he said was strive for, he showed me what an ergonomical setup looked like, had me try a few things to like show me why it works and why that's more comfortable. And then told me to strive for that, to do as little as possible, like budget-wise. And he had some different options. There are some like refurbished stores in the area that you can possibly get some of these pieces. Some of them you can make. Like I made most of this. I didn't go buy hardly anything. Pretty much bought the cheapest lumbar support there was on Amazon, you know? The closer you can get to something like this where you're looking straight or up and your keyboard is as low as possible, the better. The more likely you are to keep all the channels correct. And feet flat on the floor is also important. I like to tuck a leg up. I like to tuck 2 legs up. When I'm actually working on typing, I put them both down flat just to try and give myself my best chance. I'm gonna move us back over to the other side of the room to wrap this thing up. Ready? Here we go. So those are the main key things I learned in hand therapy. Hopefully some of those will be helpful to you. They have been extremely helpful to me. There are other things you can do. My doctor also prescribed some pain medication that's long acting. The hand therapist also showed me a technique when I'm having really severe pain, like shooting up my thumb especially. He showed me to take an ice cube and rub it on the spot, and it hurts like freaking hell. It hurts so bad. You want to do it for 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes of rubbing ice on your skin, and it is painful. But if I push through the pain and I do it, the pain goes away. And he talked about the reason that you do this is the same reason that, like, you see football players, like after hard practice they jump in an ice bath. It relieves the muscles. And you're doing the same kind of thing. You're doing a workout on your muscles, and if you're causing pain to them, a great thing to do is to ice them down. And I think ice hurts, and I've always avoided ice. I've always gone for heat just because heat feels good and ice does not. But now that I've done it, it is very helpful. If the pain is actually truly severe, the ice does wonders for me, and so I have been trying to do that a lot more often. It's hard because it does hurt and I don't like it, but I like it afterwards quite a bit. So that was a really important one. Another one is I have just a little wraparound brace that I use if the typing is bad but I'm not quite done with my writing session. Any kind of wrist brace that feels like it helps you, he said, is good and helps you. Other thing was you have to take frequent breaks, and this I've got to remember when I'm playing Fire Emblem. When the other team's going, got to be doing one of these and down, which is a simple one you see all the time. Just to shake it out is really good. Just a reminder to sit up, to do the stretches and the rolling the shoulders like he showed me. All of that is pretty key and pretty vital to making sure I've still got these in a couple more years, you know? So yes, hopefully that's helpful to you. Hopefully you're doing well with NaNoWriMo and not having any wrist pain yet. And if you are having some, try these steps. If you can combine as many as possible for you, I guarantee you it is going to feel a lot better. That's all I had for you today. Hopefully you'll forgive that this video is going up now in the middle of NaNoWriMo. I wasn't planning on doing any filming, but I don't think I'm going to vlog. It's mostly going to be the pep talks on my blogs every Saturday, which again is going to be down below for your convenience. And we'll see if I film anything else and put anything else together, but I just wanted to make sure I had put this out here because I really enjoyed going to hand therapy and I thought it was extremely helpful, and I really like being able to go long periods of time without such severe pain anymore. Like, I'm striving towards painlessness, and if I remember to do all of the things that the hand therapist taught me, I do have days without pain now, which is really great. I have been slacking on it because everything has just been too much in the past month, but I'm getting back into it, especially with NaNoWriMo. I'm trying to be very strict with myself and doing all of my exercises and wearing my braces every single night. So yes, that is all for this video. Again, hopefully it was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that, and good luck with NaNoWriMo. Bye!